Order
in the podcast.
So, doing the first.
Move your mic closer. This is why people can't hear you.
Okay. We're doing the first podcast with the four Lindsays.
Family.
It's a family business. So, Parker's been the one asking the questions.
My hat's walking in.
That cowboy hat.
Parker can only have one camera angle due to personal problems, which we won't talk about. Anyway, we're here. Why don't you guys introduce yourself?
Bo Lindsay, the youngest.
OJ.
Yep. You want the full legal name? Bo J.
Bo,
And,
Johan.
Yeah.
Oh.
Johan Frederich. And I've been an underwriter here 5 years. Loving it. Hate insurance though.
Hate normal insurance.
Yeah. Sorry.
Love doing
Love
it the right-
love X insurance.
Okay, Zane. Where's your mic?
Oh, right here.
There you go.
Oh, Frederick Zane Lindsay. Been doing insurance since 2012. First did claims, then moved to underwriting, and now I'm field underwriting. So
Oh.
And Johan Parker Lindsay. You guys have seen me. You're not seeing me today, though. You might see my hat in it blocking RJ every now and then. But
We're trying to keep his image.
These cowboys.
So anyway, it's Bo, Zane, and Parker. Those are their useful names that they like.
Or yeah.
They're not really appreciative of their grandpa's name, unfortunately.
Hey, I don't have
My
to
name.
deal with it. Yeah.
old
Okay.
Frederick.
Okay, the topic today is less pain. So when you have an insurance claim, how do you think it goes? You've had an insurance claim, Zane.
Yeah.
I just heard bits and pieces of it, but how'd that go for you? Was it a good
Well,
experience?
I'll be honest with you. I didn't know really much about insurance, so to me, now that I've done underwriting and for most of my career already, like if I were to say, I think I could handle claims a lot better. Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah, but how did they help you?
Yeah, I think he
when
means
you
your
had a
personal claim.
yeah.
Did they help you? Did they make it more painful or less painful? Because my experience on my boat claim was they didn't help me. They made
Yeah,
it way
no.
more painful, way
handling
longer.
No, handling claims myself, yeah, definitely more painful, I would say. In my general with normal commercial insurance, yeah. But
Okay. Anyway, insurance you pay for, and it should be something that actually comes and helps you, right? And that means that it should be a relationship where when it happens, you call them immediately.
right.
When people have claims, why don't they call them immediately? Why don't they go to them like their trusted friend? Well, because most people know they got crap insurance that's going to cancel them if they report a claim.
Right.
So it's always this should I report it? Should I not report it? And in Florida, if you call your agent, I've heard them say it, don't report it, they'll cancel you. So, they know they got crappy insurance. So the way that, I want it, the way I wish Jake with State Farm would have helped with my boat claim when somebody else ran into my boat was they should have sprung into action. They should have helped me, and it should have been less painful. But I call them, and they basically say, oh, we don't do boats. We do homeowners. You're going to have to manage your own claim.
Right.
So my response to them was, well, you should tell people that when you take their money. Is it, look, we don't know. We have no idea how to manage your claim. If you have it, you have to do it. So anyway, I managed my own claim, and it took 4 years, $400,000, and most people don't have that $400,000. If I wasn't lucky and blessed, I wouldn't have the money, but I do, so I can fix it. 90% of the insureds don't.
Right.
So the boat, in my opinion, would still be sitting there, or they would have fixed it the wrong way. It would have
Well,
been
that's what
more
I was saying.
painful.
Like us, like we make claims easier. I feel like we help
Well,
our
we
partnership.
can't make them easier without a good partner.
Right.
If you don't report it, I can't make it work.
Well, exactly. No, and I'm saying
So-
like other carriers make claims hard. That's what I was trying to say. That's what my thoughts are. Where
Okay.
So what, in the industry, not us necessarily, we're not raising our rates, but other carriers are raising their rates nationwide across all risks. What do you have to say to someone that's never had a claim? And, we're trying to make it less painful, but if they've never had a claim and their rates are going up, seems more painful for them to have to pay more for insurance when, they've never done anything wrong, never had to deal with a
I
claim.
mean, that's what everybody says is I've never had a claim. And you can say that until you have a claim.
Yeah.
Right? So the real question is, when you have a claim, is it going to be helpful or is it going to hurt you? And in most cases, the fine print in the insurance policy or an exclusion, it's like being half pregnant. You can't be half pregnant. When you're pregnant, you got to do the whole deal, right? It's your kid. You got to take care of it. You can't say, no, it's only half my kid. You don't have flood, or you don't have assault and battery, or so you have to go get your own lawyer. So having half the coverage that you need is a waste of your time and money. And that's how insurance products are designed, is to make them cheap. And, it's not cheaper if you have to hire your own lawyer to defend or pay for the flood claim or the earthquake claim. So, as you go through this insurance revolution that's going on right now, right? Companies aren't making money. Why aren't they making money? Because they had a bad plan and bad strategy. My expectation is if I live in California and I pay Chubb and AIG money for the last 20 years, I never had a claim, like you said, and then some neighborhood burns down and they all, throw up the white flag, surrender, and say, we're out of California. And it's like, what? You guys are the insurance guys. You're supposed to have a solution for us. You're not supposed to abandon us. Mm-hmm. And the truth is they had a plan, and it didn't include fire, right? It doesn't include earthquake, doesn't include mudslide. So if you're a homeowner down there, if you can get proper coverage where everything is covered, and, I'm the father of your child, I'm not going to try and, get away from the responsibility, and I fix your house, I'm going to have to be more money. In Florida, the people who go bankrupt, every time the system is tested in Florida, or if you're a trucking company, every time you get sued and you test your insurance company, it fails. They go broke or they cancel you. Why? Because they didn't expect you to have a claim. Their plan was never for you to have a claim or a bad claim. And, we have to make customers happy. The fact that we have done our job in the traditional way by adding exclusions, increasing prices, increasing deductibles, we force people to lawyers, right? Because you can't do it yourself. So it's like, well, these lawyers say I can sue them and get money, and you can. You can always sue somebody. When you sue them, the lawyers are going to get the majority of the money because they take a percentage, normally about 50%, plus they bill you for every hour. So, if I offer somebody $700,000 on a claim where we're responsible, and they say, well, my lawyer says I can get $2 million, yeah, you'll get $2 million 3 years from now if you win. If you lose, you don't get that. And even if you get what they promised, they're taking half plus all their bills, so you'll end up with less than what I offered you. So, in liability claims, we want to make fair offers early on. If we're at fault, we want to go deal with them directly, not make it a bad divorce where the lawyers get all the money and everybody else loses. Right? Any divorce could be nice if you just agreed to split the sheets and move on. It's when people think, oh, he's lying, he's an asshole, she's lying, and there's more money. Most cases there isn't, right? It's pretty much easy to figure out what people have. and do it the right way. Or, you can waste a lot of money and make lawyers rich. And insurance should be a partnership where you don't do half the job. You do and that makes a claim less painful. If you have a Florida homeowners lawsuit or a Florida homeowners claim, it's painful, right? Do you want an insurance company who's going to try and get cheaper bids when cheap doesn't work, when everybody's looking for people? I spend more money every time I make a happy customer. That's what as a customer, that's what I want. I want State Farm to step up, pay the claim, help me manage it, and then go get the money from Travelers, the responsible party. But I had to sue Travelers personally. They didn't do their job. Mm-hmm. So, again, it's common sense. It isn't that hard. This last 2 days ago, we wrote the biggest account we've ever written. $10 million in premium, 1 year, right? And it's a bus company who I've never met before. We've written bus companies. Mm-hmm. Pete, our retired underwriter, is famous for having written a really good bus operation here in Utah that, again, was a mistake. So, these guys, they can't get the coverage they need now. We gave them a quote same day, which is part of the problem with quoting now is when somebody has an insurance rate of, 10 grand and the renewal goes up to 30, you think the agent calls them up excited? Hey, I got you a renewal quote. It's 3 times what you paid. No, agents and brokers, when they get shocked, they hold it and they're trying to find a cheaper quote. And so they wait to deliver bad news. And then they deliver bad news at the 11th hour, and everybody's really upset now. Because now they say, well, I'm going to get some other quotes. Well, who can quote stuff in 24 hours that you guys know? Me. Us.
Yeah.
We can quote anything same day.
Yeah.
But, you actually have to be transparent, and we have to start a new, fresh relationship. Mm. We're not going to let you hide the ball or some agent clean stuff up. We want to know the reality. If you've had some claims,
let us know.
That's our job. We know. And if you've had claims, sometimes you're a better risk than you've ever been because now you know, right? You own apartment buildings and you get sued for 2 drug dealers shooting each other in your parking lot. And the insurance company pays them $6 million, I don't think we have to pay them $6 million. They're drug dealers. But, if you want to pay people, you can pay them anything. So, now you put cameras in. Why? Because that was what their lawsuit was based on, was you can't prove you didn't have lighting, you didn't do this. Well, now we know how to defend the lawsuit because you lived through it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They alleged what you should have done right. How hard is it to now do that and take those arguments away and kick their butt? So, you spend all that money, you get a good insurance company, but you as an insured still have to have the fortitude and the fight in you to say, I'm going to fight this lawsuit. Because what happens is the lawyers are going to tell you it's defendable. They're going to bill you $300,000. 2 years later, as it goes to court, they're going to start saying, this could be a $10 million claim. We should pay it. And, then that's what happens. You come to me and say, Rick, I think we want to pay this claim. And I'm like, dude, that wasn't the play.
It's a scare
That
tactic.
wasn't what we were planning on doing. We're a Super Bowl team in the Super Bowl, and you want to run a trick play on the 1 yard line. That's not what a professional team does. You stick with the play. So, I learned this 21 years old. My first claim, we spent $300,000, and then we paid the $1 million anyway. When I was like, holy shit, we could have saved $300,000 we should have just paid to begin with, right? And it happens all the time now. So I try and prepare everybody. Look, this is a defendable case. We're going to defend it. We're going to stick to it. And when the lawyers try and scare you, you're going to stick to the play. You don't have to. When you tell me to pay, I'm paying every time, right? Most people complain that they can't find an insurance company that will fight. I know that's true. That's why I started Prime. And we will fight with good partners. But the pressure is not on us as the insurance company. The insured makes the decision. That's why the lawyers scare the insured, because I'm not scared. So, less pain comes from making good decisions. Like when I stopped playing basketball because my knees hurt. That was a good decision. My knees don't hurt anymore. I could have kept playing basketball, but the boys want me to come show them how to play, so I'm probably going to play.
James wants you
I'll
to come
dunk
show
on
him
you.
how to play.
I know.
Well, going back to partnerships, it really starts early on. We try and quote fast, like you were saying, but in the underwriting process, we also try to be really transparent, get to know all the insureds with a phone call before we'll even quote you. And we, try and tell you out the gate, we're a company that likes to fight. And, like
So
you're saying.
tell me about, again, you guys weren't around when I started saying I want to talk to the insured. So how do you think that goes over? And, that's my biggest frustration now is that we as a company, I don't know how many underwriters, 50 something, but we tend to, waste our time gathering up and looking at information that the agents and brokers send us. In many cases, they're just blocking us. They're just distracting us while they have another market that they actually want to go to.
Yeah.
And if they get a cheaper quote, they're not even going to deliver our quote, even though they should, because we're better and it would protect them too, because they're giving the insured the option rather than taking that option away. But, most agents and brokers hate me because I want to talk to the insured.
Well, yeah, it gives them an option, right? And lets them hear our, not sales pitch, but kind of our philosophy on how we like to roll. And I think a lot of people can relate to that and, like it, but the agent just wants to get them the quickest thing they can for the lowest price, right?
I've never had a call where the insured said anything negative, right? And when the agents say something positive, the insureds always add in and say, this is what I've been waiting for. I've never heard this before. So when we talk to the people that actually need a solution, they're excited about the potential. They don't know us, right? It all sounds good. So again, the insureds, when we talk to them, they all say the right thing. I can think of a big trucking guy you guys all met, Greg. I won't use his last name, Mr. Lake Powell, and, very nice guy, very religious, non-drinker. I did so much for him and went above and beyond the duty. And when the chips are down, he's a talker. He doesn't do what he said he would do. So, again, there's all kinds of people in the world, and that's why we meet them and talk to them. One of my other insureds that we just won a lawsuit, we haven't insured him for 5 years down in Miami. You guys all met him too. He's suing me while I'm winning lawsuits for him because I do the right thing, and he left us about 5 years ago and started his own insurance program, which through the grapevine, I understand isn't going the way he thought it would, which again proves that, we're not perfect, but we do it better than anybody else he's ever dealt with. And when we saved his ass, we saved his business, nobody would insure him. AIG paid some $6.5 million claim. And then we insure his 600, 800 dump trucks running around Florida, and he has claims, and we perform for him. We just won another jury trial for him. Again, while he's suing me, claiming that I overpaid his claims and I should pay him back money. So again, I would do business with him again, but I certainly know him.
Yeah.
So would I trust him? Would I go out on the limb for him? No, he's going to have to make me feel good about doing business with him because I now know how he doesn't appreciate me. Now, maybe he does appreciate me. He ought to call me and tell me, Alex. That seems to be a common name that I have lots of problems with Alex's, but we won't go there.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm glad my boys are all in the business. I think that you know, it's simple. It's common sense. I actually think that, you know, the downside of this business is you have a lot of really smart people working in a lot of really big companies who can't make good decisions, right? In many cases, they only know their one job, right? The claims guy, the underwriting guy, the sales guy, and they can't ever, you know, it's execution is about putting everything together and it working well, right? If you can't put the car back together, or if you can, but it's not put back together well, you're not going to get very far.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you know, also I feel like they've just been trained and working in this industry that has then put them in a box, and they can't really think outside the box. And while it's common sense to you, to them, they've just been trained and ingrained in this system that is, you know, really backwards.
they can always come to the good
Yep,
side.
come to the light, baby. We'll take you.
It's not like, you know, when I used to say all this stuff 30 years ago, and I didn't, you know, have the history. I had wins and stuff, but everybody thought I was crazy. Now I know I'm crazy, but it works.
Definitely does work.
You know, you know, it's like everything else. It isn't easy. You have to work hard. You know, we're kind of bucking the system and doing things in a common sense opposite way from, you know, the confusing way that doesn't seem to work. But I do think it's about, you know, as an industry, we should be a fiduciary putting our client, our insureds, first. We shouldn't sell them half a solution. That doesn't work, right? They want a cheap price, but when I talk to people about, you know, how it performs, cheap actually costs you more in the long run. There's a lady in Florida that, you know, bought insurance from a bankrupt company. Now she's buying it from a new company that the guy who went bankrupt formed, and she hates him and calls him a crook, calls everybody down there a crook. And she bought a crappy policy for $7,000, but that's what she paid before with the company that went broke. And, you know, she spent a lot of time and money and made life more painful buying cheap insurance. I offered her a policy for $10,000, $3,000 more, no argument. She'd be a happy customer. She doesn't want a real answer. She just likes
The
catching
price.
people
She
and
wants the price to
complaining,
stay.
and, you know, because it's real easy, right? If you want quality, you gotta check it out. You have to understand, and I call it a mock claim, right? So let's go back and live your claim. How much did it cost you? How painful was it? And now let's do it the right way for $3,000 more, and how it'll work. We'll get the roofer there. We'll pay him. It's not about saving money. It's about time is money, getting you back in your house and making it as. How much is that worth? $3,000? I guarantee you she costs herself hundreds of thousands of dollars. And, you know, it doesn't happen every year, but probably every 10 to 20 years in Florida. And each house, each location's unique. You know, this last article, Nick took his army truck down to the neighborhood that was flooded. You know, it's not in a flood zone, 9 miles from the. So when people say, I don't need flood, you know, I don't need earthquake, it's like, how do you know what you need? Shit happens that you don't expect. So buy insurance that covers everything that could happen, and life will be better. Or keep making bad decisions.
Well, I saw something on social this week that some guy in Florida was saying he was blaming all the developers for the flooding and not climate change because
know,
they
but
go in and
that's
develop
underwriting.
areas that they raise it all up 4 feet higher than everyone else, and it sends all the water lower. So
Well,
I mean, yeah,
it's the same in the cornfields where it was a cornfield and now it's a neighborhood, right? Everywhere has more people and property. And if you did it wrong 10 years ago and now it's 10 times as big,
gonna
you're
be-
10 times more in trouble. You just don't know it till the next event.
Yeah.
So, you know, this, again, it's stupid. It's been going on forever. The lawyers make money off of the wind versus flood argument, which is what I learned in Katrina. And I was like, all you have to do is give them wind and flood, and there's no argument. But nobody wants to do that. You can't provide flood. Well, why not? I can provide flood.
So what about the agent you talked to this week? He wanted to work with us because he didn't have coverage or something. He didn't like all the bills he had to pay, like you always talk about.
Oh yeah, he bought 180 agencies around the country, and I'm not going to give you names. And we do business with them. They're agents around the country, and you guys have met some of his agents. We do stuff with him, but he owns the deal, and he self-insures almost everything.
His properties, his personal homes.
He buys auto from Progressive online, and he does stuff, the way I would. I mean, our stuff, the Bentley, I cover through Progressive because that's a market. But once you get to homeowners and business and commercial auto, now it becomes a specialty. It's not a commodity. So, when it becomes a specialty, he just goes self-insured. And so he's got a bunch of boats, and he says to me, I'm tired of writing checks. He says, I write checks on every ATV, every jet ski, every auto. He says, I just want one policy that I write a check once a year. And I'm like, you know what? I know somebody who has that. Me. Because I was the same when I bought from State Farm. Every time I come home, I get like 5 or 8 State Farm bills because they won't do anything but each ATV, each snowmobile, each car on a separate policy, right? That to me is a nightmare. So when I had my troubles with our good neighbor Jake, he's not a good neighbor, I moved everything to my own, right? I have one policy, covers everything except, the personal auto. And in some cases it does cover my personal, like the Jeep at the ranch and the cars that I don't have physical damage on, I just have liability on the one policy. The expensive cars that I can get insurance through the regular market, I do that. And then my umbrella covers over that. And, if you had homeowners with Farm Bureau and they excluded your dog and your firearm, our umbrella would pick it up. So,
well, and you have a liability policy that covers all your toys, just one policy.
Yeah.
Anything you schedule on there.
Yeah.
You can have physical damage on stuff if you want.
You can customize it. You know what a haberdasher is?
He customizes your suit.
Yeah. Where did we learn that?
From you.
No.
Oh.
It was from Mike Stone.
Oh, Mike Stone, our boy.
Ex-president of RLI and the
Shout out Mike
Funkin'
Stone.
Wagnall. Do you know what a Funkin' Wagnall is?
Yeah, because of Mike. It's an encyclopedia.
It's
Go
a
look
dictionary.
It up. Same thing.
Close
What's the
enough.
difference?
Yeah. I'm glad we're going to have school once a week now.
Yeah, let's do it. Take us to school.
Go look it up in the
Haberdasher.
Funkin' Wagnall, people.
Anyway, insurance should be like a custom fit suit. You're paying a lot of money and, you want it to fit right. And insurance is like cans of corn, right? They package them, they put it together. Most of them were put together in the 1950s and 60s, homeowners, and, regular stuff everybody buys. And it's evolved to where they add exclusions for trampolines and pools and all the stuff that makes it more like a can of corn. And again, like Bo said, we want flexibility. We want to think outside of the box. And do you remember who Bob Burnquist was, the skateboard dude? He had the biggest skateboard ramp in his backyard. And we insured his house and included the skateboard ramp, which is what I would do for Travis and all of these guys that have, parks in their backyard. They need real, true coverage. They don't have it. I guarantee it. And, we deal with them enough that we do insure some stuff for them. We just quoted some guy's aircraft that will go unmentioned. But again, it's hard to get people like that to switch. Anyway, probably the coolest thing that we've done in my career is we insured the Rolling Stones concert during COVID. We insured Mick and Keith, and I talked to both of them on a Zoom call because we insured their life if they were to die, and they're kind of old.
And the drummer died, but you already knew.
But we knew that going in, so he
They had a
wasn't
different
part
drummer.
of it. And then if it would have been canceled during COVID, well, Lloyd's of London had written cancellation coverage like this pre-COVID, really cheap. And when COVID hit and Wimbledon got canceled, they paid $144 million on Wimbledon alone.
What? How much do you think they collected over the years?
Not anywhere near.
Well, you said it
$144
once.
million.
You told me.
I
You
think the
said-
premium annually was like $70,000. It was very inexpensive.
And they wrote it for how many
coverage.
years? You told me what you said.
I
They
have no
collected
idea.
like
Richard would know. He can go back to Lloyd's and check it out. And maybe I did know at one point. But the point is that the whole program was wiped out.
yeah.
Any profits they had made were gone for however
Just
long
from
they'd
Wimbledon.
written it.
They were upside
From
down.
COVID.
Yeah.
You know, and again,
Their ship was sinking like a rock,
Yeah.
well, they just pivot and go write something else. There's plenty of stuff
And their
for
ship's
Lloyd's
floating
to
again.
do. But, you know, again, Lloyd's of London and the traditional insurance market is designing stuff to make it cheap and affordable. And, you know, again, if you live in a $5 million house, is it your insurance company's job to make the insurance cheap so you can afford it? No. That's like letting your kid go buy a Ferrari that he can't afford and paying for the insurance. He's going to go wreck it, and you're a dumbass to let a kid have a car he can't afford or pay for the insurance on. So you do have to live within your means and be responsible. Florida Citizens Homeowners Insurance Company is government-owned. You know, the FAIR Plan in California, which everybody's going to now, it's government. Government isn't
Hey,
going to
man,
do
we're
it any
a
better.
socialist country now. What do you think?
Government is meaning we're going to pay the bill anyway. So quit looking for government. You know, when the houses in Maui burned, you know, they're all over there saying, you know, where's the government? Where's the government? You know what I was thinking? Where's your insurance company? You know,
Aren't
your
they there?
insurance company should be there writing you a check. Your house burnt to the ground. What's there to talk about? Oh, co-insurance, you didn't insure it enough, so we're not going to pay you. That's what happens in claims is insurance companies go re-underwrite what they should have already done. If you have a 20-year-old
What
roof,
they say you're underinsured, and then they don't pay you what
you got your deductible, you got a co-insurance penalty. So if you should have insured it for $1 million, but your agent got you a cheaper quote by reducing it to $800,000, you're going to get a 20% haircut.
And now you're making the lawyers rich again.
Well, you're going to get less than what you think. So you either take it, bend over and take it, or you get mad and you go get a lawyer and sue everybody. But insurance companies, again, would do themselves and all of us as an industry better. You go write checks when their house burns to the ground. Because if you let them underinsure it,
And then
that's your fault. You shouldn't have let them. You shouldn't have let the agents reduce the price and keep it moving. Anyway,
Well,
okay. Good thing we got the comedians here.
I just want to make sure we're picking it up.
yeah,
it's
that
good
was
stuff.
Okay.
Now he lost his train of thought.
Anything
Sorry.
else? I have no train of thought.
Well, yeah, no, it's not
Bounces
right.
off the walls.
It's not good to go re-underwrite once there's a claim, right? So it's just messed up.
But it's separated. You know, that's about writing premium. And when you're writing premium, you ought to be thinking about happy customers, right? But most people focused on cheap. They just get a commission and they're competing against stupid, so they think they have to be stupid. And, you know, again, I think it's time that you raise the bar. We're a fiduciary. And
But I
what
think even the
do-
buyers still, like that one lady, she's stuck on that
I
$7,000
know,
price.
but
It's
move along. Don't, you know, I gave her
If
an
she can't
option.
get that
She could fix
$7,000
it. I got other people who actually get it and will do it right. And those are the people we have to focus on. You don't keep beating your head against the wall trying to convince somebody that, you know, free agency. They can make bad decisions all day long.
But they have to live with it.
Yeah. And not complain about it after, because now you know you made a, you know, again, her argument gets dumber and dumber every time she makes it.
She's calling us out. That's how we found her.
Well, I mean,
calling us out.
Well,
When you
she
can't
was
get the
calling all insurance companies out and lumping us in as one of them, and we ain't one of them. That's why we don't compete with stupid.
Can.
Okay, that's a wrap.
We'll see you on the
compete with
next one.
stupid.
This will go on forever.